evening, I'm Rachel Drummond.
And I'm Roberto Lewis. Here's our top story. Labor Secretary Alexander Acosta resigned on Friday after being caught up in the Jeffrey Epstein scandal. President Trump wished him well and said there will always be a place for Acosta as a director of the Miss Teen pageant changing rooms.
President Trump encouraged members of the press to actually enter the detention centers. Members of the press hesitated for fear that he would lock the door behind them.
Over the last week, California was struck by earthquakes with magnitudes of 6.4, 7.1, and an aftershock Friday of 4.9. California hasn't been this shaken up since they raised the price of avocado toast.
Billionaire and former presidential candidate H. Ross Perot has died at age 89. But have no fear, Jay Leno remains confident that he can squeeze out another 10 years of Ross Perot jokes.
Megan Rapinoe and the U.S. women's soccer team were honored in New York City this week. They were offered to take the subway for only half the price of the men's fares.
Ukraine's president has announced that Chernobyl, the site of the world's worst nuclear disaster, will become an official tourist attraction. Officials have yet to name their choice of mascot, but are deciding between Mr. No Skin and Captain Melty Eye.
A Michigan couple held a MAGA-themed wedding in support of Donald Trump. No one was really sure, though, if in sickness and in health was meant to cover bone spurs.
A new report shows that the Earth's population will soon reach 8 billion people, none of whom are listening to my podcast.
I haven't listened yet.
No one's listening.
And now, where hard news meets Hollywood, here with the entertainment news is Conan the Comedian!
A new CGI version of The Lion King is soon heading to theaters. The next original movie idea from Disney will be a live-action version of Steamboat Willie. It's a 1930s cartoon! Somebody liked it. Netflix says that over 40 million households have already watched Stranger Things Season 3. But only because 40 million households went on Netflix and were unable to find The Goonies. It's good enough for Cyndi Lauper. Stevie Wonder. Just kidding. Stevie Wonder announced he will take a break from performing to undergo a kidney transplant. In the meantime, Wonder is waiting for a new kidney to be signed, sealed, and delivered. This guy's great! Kevin Hart turned 40 last Sunday. He was going to have a big celebration at an amusement park until he realized he wouldn't be tall enough for any of the rides. Nothing on that one?
Not a fan. Not a fan.
Chris Rock will star in a reboot of the Saw movies. In the new movie, Jigsaw will torture people by making them watch Grown Ups 2. Didn't know there was a sequel. And finally, Courtney Love turned 50 on Tuesday. Somehow. Rock stars that should be dead are hilarious!
Thank you, Conan! Again, I am Roberto Lewis.
And I am Malu Martins. Rachel Drummond is out on assignment. So, a highway in Michigan Michigan is being named after Aretha Franklin. And an alley full of dumpsters in Michigan is being named after Kid Rock.
The U.S. government is growing the largest crop of research marijuana in 5 years, responding to interest in varieties with high levels of THC and CBD. The researchers have one of those rare jobs where, quote, it's nice to take your work home with you.
A new study says that cockroaches are getting close to being invincible. They figured out they can get away from things that could harm them if they just blame the media.
Harley-Davidson has unveiled an electric motorcycle that can go from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 3 seconds. Ironic, since 3 seconds is how long you will live if you pull one of those things up in a biker bar.
Anchorage, Alaska broke temperature records by reaching 90 degrees on July 4th. It's appropriate that it happened on the 4th, since there's nothing more American than denying climate change.
The 50th anniversary of man landing on the moon is next week, so it's been 50 years since Stanley Kubrick's best work, allegedly.
A deputy in Florida was arrested for planting meth and other drugs on motorists and then arresting them. Most shocking of all, there are apparently motorists in Florida that already don't have meth.
Richmond Shepard, the world's oldest mime, has died at the age of 90. He will be laid to rest in an invisible box.